What up, humans? Kurumi here, and welcome to the Mobile Legends Bootcamp. In this video, we are going to talk about the tank hero, Franco. Franco has a good set of mobility, regeneration, area of effect, burst, and crowd control skills. Our frozen warrior, Franco, is a tank hero. I consider Franco as the tank support hero. With the ability to be granted with extra movement speed, he can easily roam on other lanes for ganking. Not only that, his first skill can pull enemies against their will and be a feast for his teammates. Now, let me share some tips and tricks on how to use Franco based on my experience. We will also teach you some combos and techniques on the latter part of this bootcamp. But before that, let me explain his skills one by one for further understanding. Franco's passive, Wasteland Force, boosts Franco's movement speed and health regeneration. When Franco takes no damage for a short time, he gains additional 10% movement speed. Along with that, he also gains health regeneration of his 1% maximum health points per second. Franco's first skill, Iron Hook, lets Franco launch an iron hook to a designated location. The hook launched by Franco will lock the first enemy hit. The enemy hit will receive a certain amount of physical damage, and the enemy will be pulled towards Franco. Franco's second skill, Fury Shock, lets Franco lash out his anger around him. Upon using this skill, Franco will strike the ground and deal physical damage based on this skill's level and a percentage of his maximum health to enemies around him. Enemies hit will have their move speed reduced. Franco's ultimate skill, Bloody Hunt, lets Franco hug an enemy really tight. Upon clicking this skill, Franco will suppress an enemy target for almost 2 seconds. During his suppression on the enemy, he hacks the enemy for 6 times continuously, dealing a certain amount of physical damage for each hack. There are so many items that you can buy for Franco. You can focus on items that grants defense, movement speed, shield absorption, and health regeneration. For me, I choose to buy items that boost my health regeneration and shield absorption, movement speed, and damage per second. You can also consider the Battle Cry build if you are more into higher movement speed, which can let you roam around the map with ease. Considering the Recall No More build will let you survive without regenerating back to base. But let's talk about the Kurumi way further. If you prefer more into roaming, then you can consider buying Shadow Mask first. This item grants health points and cooldown reduction. One of its unique attributes grants additional movement speed. One of its unique active skill, Conceal, lets you and allies near you enter conceal state. This will also boost the affected unit's movement speed. This lasts for a few seconds. Dealing or taking damage will end the state. This unique active skill has a really long cooldown. Another unique passive of this item is Devotion. This grants you additional gold and experience every 4 seconds. But the catch is, you won't gain gold or experience when killing minions or monsters if a teammate is near you. This lets your teammates take all the gold and experience, serving your role as a support roaming hero. Another unique passive of this item is Thriving. This lets you gain extra experience and gold with every assist you make. When you are ranked 5th on the gold rank of your team, the gold granted by TOTR is modified and you will now receive 20 gold every 4 seconds. Same goes with the experience granted by TOTR every 4 seconds. You will be granted 35 experience per 4 seconds when you are the 5th rank in the experience or level department. This is a really good item, especially Franco is mostly a ganking tank. For your kicks, you can consider Magic Shoes. This item gives you cooldown reduction and movement speed. This cooldown reduction is pretty helpful to reduce your skill's cooldown time. You can consider buying Oracle. This grants health points, magical defense, and cooldown reduction. Its unique passive raises shield absorption and HP regeneration effects by 25%. This can significantly boost your shield generation and HP regeneration. You might want to consider Athena's shield. This item grants additional health points, magic defense, and HP regeneration. Its unique passive grants a shield to your hero every 30 seconds. The shield absorption amount grows as the match goes on. You might also want to consider Thunder Belt. This item grants you health points, mana regeneration, cooldown reduction, and physical defense. Its unique passive buffs your next basic attack after using a skill. This buff will deal true damage to the target equal to a percentage of your max health. The enemy target and the surrounding enemies will receive this damage, and will have their movement speed reduced. This unique passive has a short cooldown. Lastly, you can consider Immortality. This grants you physical defense and health points. Its unique passive lets you resurrect after 2 seconds upon death. This resurrects you and give you 15% health points, and a shield that lasts for a few seconds. This item has a really long cooldown. The item build for Franco really depends on the enemy's lineup. So make sure to read each item's description so you can adapt in-game. One of the best spells to be used on Franco is Flicker. You can use it to escape danger, even death. You can use also Flicker in combo with your first skill to pull the target further. We will tackle on that later. You can also consider Sprint. This can really help you run from danger or chase enemies. In my opinion, the best emblem set to be used is the Custom Support Emblem set. Custom Support Emblem could provide extra stats according to your needs as a tank support. Set agility to its max level because it can give you additional movement speed. Higher movement speed means higher chance to chase enemies or escape death. Setting recovery to max level will provide you Hybrid Regen. Hybrid Regen means regeneration for your health and mana. Get Focusing Mark to increase the damage dealt of your allies to your target after dealing damage to that enemy. This effect has a short cooldown. Set first skill to max level first. Prioritizing this makes the cooldown of this skill lower and the damage higher. That means you can cast this skill again as soon as possible for more pulling action. Prioritize second skill less since your first skill is what you need to pull enemies. Always upgrade his ultimate skill when available for upgrading. Franco's passive skill is really helpful for you as a roaming tank. With the health regeneration when Franco has not received any damage within a short period, this can help you sustain in your lane, even without having the need to recall back to base to regenerate. The movement speed boost is also a good thing if you are into roaming. This effect is somehow similar and a great alternative for rapid boots. Franco's first skill is what makes Franco one of the greatest tank support heroes. With the ability to pull enemies into your loving arms, the enemy will just wish he was never born. Pulling enemies towards you can turn the tides of the battle to your team's favor. Just imagine pulling one enemy and your team focus their fire to that single entity. It will be an easy peasy kill, making the match 4 versus 5 in an instant. Just make sure to aim this skill properly, because you really don't want to pull ghosts, do you? What we can suggest is to shoot your skill ahead of the enemy. You should always gamble or try analyzing the target's next steps. Then shoot your first skill towards the location where you think the enemy will be going to. You can also use this skill to annoy enemies that are killing jungle monsters. Here, we can see Fanny peacefully trying to kill a jungle monster. We can either try stealing the jungle monster, or just annoy her and reset the health of the jungle monster, just like this. We will further discuss some experiments we have done for his first skill later. Franco's second skill is what you need to slow down enemies, with the ability to reduce their movement speed. This will further help your team to have more time on focusing your fire to the target. Given that the damage is also dependent on your max health points, it is advisable to buy items that grants health points. Franco's ultimate skill is what you need to love your enemies, with the ability to hold the target in place within your range. Enemies will surely just wish you get over it quickly. Just make sure to hold enemies when your teammates are near. You don't want to hold enemies without your teammates focusing their fire on the target, because that would make it appear that you just want to hug the enemy lovingly.
An enemy has been slain. Launch attack.
Now going to tackle our experiments on Franco's first and ultimate skill. Well, here we are again with our one and only favorite lab rat, Rakuten, to demonstrate with us Franco's first and ultimate skill capabilities. First, let's test Franco's first and ultimate skill against enemies with Purify. As you may know, Purify removes crowd control effects and makes them immune to crowd control for a short period. So, let's see if what will happen if Rakuten will use Purify after our first skill connects. As you can see, little Raki has fast hands. He was able to use Purify right after our first skill landed on him. He really doesn't want to be hugged so tight, so we can say that Purify can counter Franco's hook. Now, we will test our ultimate skill against Purify. Let's now hug little Raki with our ultimate. As you can see, he used Purify before we used our ultimate skill. Still, our ultimate skill hugged him tight. He really loves to be hugged. Anyway, we are done testing Purify. Let's move on with some heroes that could potentially counter Franco, or not. First, we have Diggy. As we all know, Diggy's ultimate skill can make his allies immune to crowd control within the area. So let's first try our hook. As you can see, he was able to counter our first skill. That's really expected. Now how about our ultimate skill? As you can see, he was not able to move even if he casted his ultimate skill. Let's try if he casts it ahead of our ultimate skill. The same still happened. Let's move to the next hero. We now have little Raki as Valir. Valir's ultimate can let him out of crowd control effects. So let's test his ultimate against our first skill. As you can see, when he used his ultimate halfway R pull, he was able to remove the crowd control effect. Now let's check out with our ultimate skill. As you can see, he still can't get out of our ultimate. Now with this experiment, we can say that Franco can penetrate some anti-crowd control ultimates out there. So, we can definitely conclude that Franco is really a tight hugger. So much love. Flicker is one of the favorite spells most users use for Franco. With Flicker, you can extend the distance the enemy is pulled. Take a look on this scenario. We are going to pull little Raki. As you can see, when our first skill locked into Valir, we used Flicker towards our back. This made the pulling distance longer. You can use this technique on situations that requires you to pull enemies near your turret. Just make sure to use Flicker when you are sure that the enemy was locked on. You don't want to waste Flicker pulling ghosts, right? In terms of his combo, we follow a really simple combo for Franco. There is really lots of combos that you can use with Franco depending on the situation. We will just show you one of our favorite combos. First, do an ocular of the location of the enemy. Then, pause for a while and pray, or you can skip this step. Then, release your first skill towards the target. Then, when the hook is locked to the target, use Flicker to blink towards your back. This will further pull the target away from his loving teammates. With this, we are sure that the target's teammates will hesitate to save him, making them abandon their teammate. Then, use your formidable ultimate skill to hug enemies, because his teammates doesn't love him enough to save him. You can just give him a tight loving hug in return. Then, use your second skill and deal basic attacks after your ultimate skill's duration. Additional tip, Flame Shot can also be used against Franco's deadly combo, but this depends if the enemy Franco has faster hands. If he connects the first and ultimate skill, then you have no choice but to wish you were never born. But if your Flame Shot connects first, then you can push Franco away because you don't even want to be hugged in the first place. You are probably not a hugger. The tips I mentioned are just some of the ways you can use Franco. This video just guides you on how to use Franco the Kurumi way. We would like to thank our Wakandian brother Rakuten for being our lab rat for this boot camp. You can search for him in-game and tell him how much you appreciate him, willing to sacrifice his pride and honor just to be a test subject. He loves receiving chocolate agates and some Angela dolls or just even likes. So, once again, this is Kurumi and that's how you use Franco. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to like and share this video. Also subscribe to our channel for more contents by clicking on the subscribe button below.
Initiate.
For our skin giveaway events, check out the community tab for the giveaway event post. We have our coffee account just in case you want to donate us some coffee funds. Check our coffee link on the description of this video. Please, only trust bootcamp videos from our official accounts. See you on the next Mobile Legends Bootcamp. Cheers!